Sometimes we think maybe I'm the only one who is so negative. Nobody thinks negative like me. No, it's not true. Maybe they're not telling you, maybe they are hiding, but everyone subconsciously is is thinking negative. Also, there are also positive thoughts. So, what happens when somebody undergoes a lot of stress and they undergo a lot of mental health challenges? So, it is not that they get any special thoughts, they get the same negative thoughts. The difference lies in the intensity and the frequency of those thoughts. Those thoughts trouble them more, they come more often, they have more impact on a person's belief. It also starts to interfere with their sleep, their appetite. So, when this cycle of negative thought starts, what is it that we can do? Number one, acknowledge I am having negative thoughts. It is all right. Let me look at those thoughts from a third person perspective. Third person perspective means as if it was happening to a friend of mine. And that friend comes to me and says, "Oh, I'm feeling this. I'm not thinking right. I'm feeling very negative about somebody. This happened. This thing is not right." How would you advise this person? How would you look at this person's situation? You're going to look at this as a third person. Now, that's number one. The number two is that you can test that thought. So, if, for example, you feel that you are not lovable and you don't have good relationships, test this validity. So, is there anybody in the world who likes you, acknowledges you, has been there for you at a crucial moment? If you're able to find a few names like that, it means that what you're thinking is not entirely true. Maybe right now you're thinking that nobody likes you or you're not lovable, but that is partially correct. There are also people who matter. There are also people for whom you are important. So, what we are learning is that when we test the validity of those thoughts as a third person, we can see that what we are thinking is not entirely correct or entirely incorrect. There are two aspects to it. So when so we don't have to start thinking, we don't have to deny our negative thoughts. Oh no, no, it's wrong. If I'm feeling that I'm unlovable, then no, no, it's not right. No, I'm very special. No, that is also an opposite of this negative thinking. But that's very superficial. It's a superficial positive thinking. What we encourage is a realistic thinking, where we test the thought by collecting evidence which supports and does not support what we are thinking. There are always two aspects. There are always two aspects about everything. So we try and develop a realistic mindset where we take responsibility of both positive and both negative. The third technique is we call this Socratic questioning. So Socrates was, very famous Greek scholar, and he would help people, or he would test people. He would always test their beliefs. He would help them to transform their beliefs by testing them. So I'll give you an example. Suppose you're thinking that you have an exam and you think that you're going to fail. Now you've worked hard, but you think you're going to fail. Socratic questioning would mean that imagine what worse can happen. So I'm going to fail. All right. What will happen then? I will feel really terrible. Okay. What will happen then? I will not be able to do anything. Okay. What will happen then? I'm going to be miserable. All right. What will happen then? My parents would not support me. Society would judge me. Okay. Then what will happen? I will be unhappy throughout my life. Is it really true? Is it really true that just by failing in this exam, you're going to be unhappy for the rest of your life? Okay. As I begin to question, what if? Okay, my mind begins to find its reason. It begins to understand that it is an endless chain of negative thinking. And it begins to break. It begins to consider, okay, maybe it is not as bad as I'm thinking it to be. So We talked about three techniques. One, we acknowledge that we are having negative thoughts. So, and we look at them from a third person perspective. Second is that we test the validity of those thoughts. And the third is that we call it Socratic questioning, that we keep testing, we keep challenging what we are thinking. We imagine the worst possible outcome. I have shared these principles from a technique we call cognitive behavioral therapy, but I have shared them in a very layman terms. There is no fixed way of doing this, but it's important that you understand the principle behind what I'm telling you. Obviously, you can study about it and you can take help of a professional to learn these things properly. But these little things is something you can do on a daily basis. The idea is not to get trapped in the negative thinking. And our goal is not to develop positive thinking. Our goal is to develop realistic thinking, where we do not get scared or run away from negative thoughts. We understand them that they're a part of life. They will happen just like positive thoughts. But I can reason them. I can grow above them and understand them from a broader perspective. All right. I would encourage you to listen to this video entirely, and then if you have any questions, please put that in the comments, and then I can cover those questions in my next video. All right. Thank you very much for listening. Bye bye.